Getting ready to plant. I just wanted to give you a quick video overview of all of the flowers and the planters that I picked up at Terrain today. I'm really excited, so let's get going. All right, so I'm here in my kitchen and I'm just gonna go over the things that we brought home from Terrain. I've got this big white saucer, of course. My dogs are gonna go crazy. I got a bag of organic potting soil, and I usually use organic on my vegetables. I don't so much on my flowers, but it's what they loaded and got out of the back for my car. It's they're just now putting out potting soil. I have this other terracotta colored smaller, see how much smaller that is? I think I'm gonna do, my inside one's gonna be this white finished one. My outside pansy, more hardy flowers are gonna go in this, and this can go right outside because all of the flowers I got are hardy to minus 30 and minus 40 degrees. So they should last. Last year it was 4th of July when I pulled out some of my pansies here, which is crazy. I got this this container was a splurge. It's cast iron, obviously, really heavy. Yep, cast iron oval urn. I thought I'd do something inside with this. Absolutely love it. And then I've got a couple of flats of flowers, which, like I said, these are all of these flowers that go outside are very hardy. You know, they're late winter, early spring flowers. I got my favorite violas, and I got some primrose. Those are pretty hardy. And then where'd my pansies go? I also had pansies. Maybe I left. Oh, here they are. Here's my pansies. I thought I lost them. I love these with the happy little faces. So I'm gonna lay this all out and we're gonna pot it up, and you're gonna see this is the container that my husband gave me for Valentine's Day with flowers in it. And I thought that this would work really well in either. I think I'm gonna use it on the indoor one because it's really tall and makes a nice centerpiece. But I had thought about using this. I'll go talk this out loud with you before I pot them out. In here, last year, and with many, like the last 20 years that I've done this outside, I've put a hurricane lamp, like from a hurricane glass in it with a candle underneath it. And I put it on like a plate, an outdoor terracotta plate. Hang on, I'm gonna grab this. And I didn't like it because it would fall over, it would get water in it. It wasn't impermeable. So then as I was walking around looking at my containers, I found this, which is probably, I'm gonna wash it with Windex. Probably another thing that anytime I get flowers from my husband or my mom or anyone or my daughters, I usually save the containers because they're pretty cool. And I think this would fit really nicely in this. So I'm gonna clean it up and get these flowers set out, and then I'm gonna put them together. You're gonna love this. These are my favorite things to make in the spring. So bear with me. All right, so I switched to a side angle so you could see the plants a little bit better and I could get a little bit closer. I'm pulling the roots off of this beautiful fern, and what I generally do is I put the container that's going to be in the middle in first, and then put one side of the plants in, scoot it over, and put the other side of the plants in. It's just, it holds it in there a little bit better and keeps it from, it's too hard to put the container in the middle in after your plants. So you're better off doing it at first. I'm a little disappointed that this is a little small for what I'm doing. The bottom container should have been a little bit bigger, and the plants that I got are a little bit larger than what I usually get. I usually get the little 6-packs, but I was really taken with these ferns, so I'm gonna use these. Love the angel hair fern and the clover. So I'm putting in the 2 tall ones, Put the one tall one, I'm going to have them side by side so they kind of frame the container in the middle. And this is my favorite, angel hair fern. Just the most beautiful plant. They're easy to kill, so you want to keep them moist, but you don't want their roots to be soaked. And it's a little tricky in one of these because there are no drain holes in the bottom. So you just want to, when the top of the soil's dry and you stick your finger in, it's like a half an inch of dry soil, you want to add a little bit more. These guys like to be wet but not have soggy feet. So we've got some clover. Love this beautiful clover with a hint of purple. It's white with purple. And my angel hair fern, and then the tall fern. I try to go with a tall, a medium, and a short height plants around the container to give it some interest to the eye. So what I did here was just basically 2 of each plant across from each other, directly across from each other around the planter. I like the way that looks. And like I said, these are very large. And so what I did not have to add any of the soil to this because they were perfect in the pots they're in. And I just pick up whatever falls down on my counter and add that back in because I'm kind of messy it is messy when you do these. So love this tall fern, gives it a really nice look on either side. And when the candle glows through it, it's just really pretty at night, pretty during the day. So you want to put half your plants in, scoot your container over, and then you need to kind of finagle them in there gently so that you don't completely disturb the roots. Put in the other half of the planter and stuff the dirt back in that fell on the countertop. And the last step with this is to put a candle in the middle. I think I'm going to put my last angel hair fern in and my other clover. And again, try to be gentle with these. You don't want to completely devastate the root system, but this is pretty easy to lift that up and kind of gently nudge that in without disturbing the other side of the planter. And then you definitely want to water this after you get it in, and then let it sit for a couple of days and get acclimated. Ferns are a little picky, but I find that these little angel hair ferns bounce back relatively quickly. Just don't overwater them. So we're going to add the last little plant, and then we need to put a candle in. This one, the container's so large that I put an upside down empty dark green plant container in the bottom and put the candle on top of it just to elevate it. You could get a taller candle, pretty much do whatever you want. So I hope you enjoy that. Now we're going to move on to the outdoor planter. Here are my outdoor plants. These are all hardy to -30 or -40 degrees. So even if we get a couple of snows, they're going to be good. I love the container that I'm using in the middle. The only thing is, because it's glass, it might shatter. If it gets too cold, you might want to, actually, if it gets cold and then hot really quickly, generally it should be fine. It's very thick, but glass can be a little picky. So you could bring it inside if it gets terribly cold. Same thing, I put the plants all around and find something that's pleasing to my eye, and so that I don't have to move things around once they're in there, and then start putting my plants in around the middle container. I didn't need to add dirt to this one either because enough fell off of the roots or the surrounding plant onto my counter. So it's just, you want them to be snug in there, but not completely smushed. This is going to last definitely into June or July. Last year, it lasted until July 4th because it was a mild summer. I guess if you get a really hot summer, these could wilt and look very sad, but they really are a wonderful accent to have, nice centerpiece to have on your outside table. And here in Pennsylvania, it generally gets enough rain on its own that I don't have to do anything. Maybe pinch the pansies every once in a while. But you just pick the plants that you want, put them around this cylinder in the middle, There are years that I have done all impatiens, which I loved for a shady area in my yard. There are years that I've done all vinca, which look like impatiens. So you can do a uniform. It looks very pretty if it's all the same flowers around it. Geraniums look pretty, but they get a little tall. So I tend to look for the shorter, stockier plants like the primroses or the pansies. They don't get humongous and totally obscure your candle. All right, so here the plants are on my dining room table. I'm really happy with both of them. One is for outside, one is for inside. The ferns are for inside. I hope that you give this a try. It's so easy and so fun. Use any plants you like. And now I'm going to show you the extra plants that I had. I used outside because I always overbuy plants. So here are two more arrangements that I made with the flowers I brought home. I put a real cool from Hobby Lobby center wood candelabra holder in the middle of this one. But I hope you liked this craft. If you liked it, hit like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another video next week. Have a great day.